Hey everybody, we're on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Hey, hello everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. It's good to be back after a week hiatus. Yeah, very, very happy to see everybody. It's lovely to see you as well, Rob. It's been a while. You know, we've been here, there, and everywhere.
It's been almost 3 weeks, hasn't it? Something like that.
I know, it's been hilariously long. This is what happens when you don't plan things properly and you have people visiting. Who have we got in the chat today? We've got Phil, of course. Welcome, Phil. Thank you very much for joining us. We've got Charlie of Hooterton. We've got Morwood's in.
We've got Hilton.
Aaron's in. We've got Hilton. Hilton is joining us on his holiday. Oh, you're too good to us, mate. Go and enjoy yourself. Go.
He doesn't want to hear model railway talk on his holiday, does he?
Clearly does.
We've got Lukasz from the Polish Tank Engine. Yes, everybody's here. Everybody's here. It's all your fault. It's always my fault, mate. Is it not always my fault?
It's easier to blame someone else.
It's always easy to blame somebody else. So yes, welcome everybody. You'll have to excuse me. I will probably be periodically eating because I haven't had anything for the last 4 hours. So excuse me. Are either of you two drinking anything today? Since Hilton is not here.
I'm on the strong stuff. Tea.
Oh,
He's drinking Mallard.
Grizzly, come on, get it right.
Oh,
he's starting already.
I'm on the water, but because it's baking up here. But as the stream goes on and it gets cooler, I may switch to the whiskey, which I've got behind the camera.
Phil has literally just asked, "Is it warm, Rob?" Apparently, you guys are having a hot day today.
I would say it's comfortably probably about 22 degrees in the loft.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was warm in the garage.
It was 22 degrees outside today here, so you know.
it's been like 26 degrees here in the day today, so it's a bit wham.
It's a bit wham, is it? Oh dear. Well, yes. So starting off strong. What about you guys? Are you guys drinking anything? Anybody in the chat having a good drink yourself? Hilton, what are you drinking? You've got to be drinking something, right? Come on.
He's on holiday. He must be.
Yeah. Oh, and I have to say, Hilt, the picture of the film of Doggo going into the sea for the first time and getting freaked out.
AF.
Cute as frick. Yeah, really, really cute. So enjoy yourself, mate. Disappear. Off you go. Charlie has had a pint of Camden Stout. I would love a beer right now. I really would. Well, we'll get that chaos out of the way. So, we've got a Edredor tonight. Fancy. I'm going to be reaching out to you in the next week or so because I need to buy someone a very nice bottle of whiskey to say thank you. So you'll have to give me a recommendation on that. Phil's on the old Coke Zero.
Good lad. Someone's got to be sober.
Yes, that's true. So yes. Anyway, so apologies. Weren't around last week. We had some last minute changes where basically all three of us had something come up. So really, we couldn't stream at all. And the reason we've moved it to Tuesday this week is unfortunately I'm traveling. So I won't be around. Hilton is also on holiday himself. So we thought rather than postponing another week, we would move it to today. So there you are. Cheeky Tuesday. There you are. Yeah, there you go, Derek. Cheeky Tuesday beer and a stream. There you go. 2 for 1. You can see that we are not alone today. We have Stephen of Fimbra Engage joining us today. He'll give us a bit of an introduction in a few minutes. But as we always like to do, we like to start with a little bit of news or a little bit of a key highlight. So, Steve, I know. Do you mind, Steve? Do you prefer Stephen?
I'm easy.
You easy, Steve?
Whatever rolls off the tongue.
He gets called many things.
So, is there anything that you would like to highlight? Whether that's Engage, whether that's real life, anything that's going on right now.
Not in the Engage world. There's not been an awful lot announced lately. Seems to have gone quiet, but I think it might be coming to Backman's announcements in a few weeks' time. So hopefully maybe some Farish stuff within that lot. I could be wrong. Like I could have got my dates mixed up, but I'm sure I read the other day that it's coming up soon. So apart from that, there's nothing engaged, unfortunately.
We are all eagerly awaiting that one.
We are all eagerly awaiting. So it's next Wednesday. For anybody interested, it is next Wednesday is Backman's summer British announcements. So of course we will probably be having a lengthy discussion of that.
That will probably be next week's topic.
It will very likely be next week's topic. Unless something else, drops, like the TT120 stuff from Hellion, which is my highlight of all things, actually. I think, I genuinely did not see that coming. And then, Peachy TT put out a video a few days before Key Model World Live. And yeah, I was not expecting a Deltic and a DMU. I think that's a fantastic entry for Hellion.
Well, it's better than a steam engine anyway.
Well, from them, yes. Although we don't know, they might do really well steam in TT. You never ever know.
They can't do double O and they can't do O, so they can only go worse as you go smaller.
I was going to say, so as someone who's not done double O and has nothing to do with Hellion, I'm guessing steam locos aren't there for it. Is that an understatement?
It's not great.
Right, okay. Fair enough.
If they ever make an entry into N-Gauge, don't buy their steam engines.
Right.
Yeah, don't. I can't speak about other gauges, but yeah.
O-Gauge, they were awful.
And what about you, Rob? Any highlights from you?
There hasn't really been much that I've seen that have been of note, to be fair. I haven't, not that I've really been looking, to be honest, but nothing has really jumped out to me besides, as you've already mentioned, the Haljan getting back into, jumping on the TT wagon after their early boot off, so to speak, by Hornby is pretty much the highlight of probably the modelling world at the moment.
Right. There was one other thing that caught my mind from as everybody probably knows, Key Model World Live was the recent event this weekend, and supposedly they've had another great year. I've seen quite a few posts on Facebook, a fair few videos have popped up all over the place as well. Looks like another good year for them, and a few EPs for some 00 models, especially the Bachmann 66 was out on the Making Tracks layout, and that looks rather good. Trundling around, not gonna lie. So
maybe Dapol will jump into having a 00 gauge 66 soon as well, just so everybody's making one.
Yeah, exactly. Hilton literally just mentioned it. I was waiting to get on with Key Model World to say that the engineering prototype had been trundling around Making Tracks, and it does look rather good. A bit of a surprise announcement from Bachmann ahead of their summer announcements for sure. Is another 66 needed? I think that will be a discussion for next week after we get the rest of their announcements, because if they've announced that separately, what does that mean is coming up?
Hopefully new things.
So we'll see how that goes.
It does look good, that 66 like.
It does. They've got quite a few variations as well. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Actually, on the topic of 66s, Dapol have received the engineering samples of the decorated painted samples of the O-Gauge 66s as well.
Aha. Do they look any good?
They look absolutely amazing, and I'm contemplating ripping up the NG7 again.
Don't do that, please.
Do it.
Don't do that.
No, I won't be doing that.
I do know that the Key Model World exclusive Wessex Trains 31s had decorated samples come through during Key Model World Live that they were showing up, and it looks really good. Like really good. The paint looks crisp. The finish looks really good. I'm sorry, I've done no prep today. I don't think any of us have had much time before jumping on today. So
I had trouble getting the reels out.
Yeah, but they were really good. They were really good. Hilton's coming in with the competition is good, but their pricing isn't. Yes, I mean, is it going to compete with the Akira Scale / Hatton's 66? We'll see. But yes, on the seventh day, God made the class 37.
Fair point.
I'm telling you, Hilton. You've just sorted out the Scott, your latest class 37 custom. They're going to announce it. I'm calling it. They're going to do a new livery of a 37, and it's going to be the one that you've just gone and sorted out for yourself. So I'm calling it now. Anyway,
paid all that money for a repaint just for them to release it. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I wanna know from you guys in the chat. Did anyone go to Key Model World Live this weekend? And if you did, what are your thoughts? Any takeaways? Did you spend a lot of money? Did you buy anything? Let us know what's going on in the chat, and we'll get back to that in a few moments' time. But if there isn't anything else to highlight, lads.
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
Not aware of. So then, in that case, we are going to properly introduce Stephen of Fimbra Engage USA. Engage USA. I'm so confused today. See, I need to sleep. We're replacing. It's because of the Engage written there. It's because of that. Sorry, Stephen. Do you want to introduce yourself? Who you are? What you do? A bit about your layout.
So
from there.
So I'm Stephen. Obviously, Fimbra Engage. Normally found on Instagram more often than not these days. Do put stuff on YouTube every now and then, but the layout's at a point at the moment where there's not an awful lot worth filming, and even then, it's debatable content anyway. So but yeah, it's all there behind us. We can quite say that. It's all in the garage. Only ever really done Engage. Dabbled in Garden Railway stuff a few years ago. Still got a live Steam one brewed in the garage somewhere. But yeah, it's not really an awful lot to sort of say, really. Never done double.
How long have you been doing it?
Too long. So
we can all say that.
Well, as long as I can remember, put it that way. So, I mean, I'm 31 now, and I can't remember not doing it. But my granddad was always into his Engage, so it all goes back. There's always bad influence somewhere, isn't there? So
yes, absolutely.
It all goes back to that. So yeah, about it really. Not really an awful lot of deep backstory, I suppose. It's just something I've always done,
And for those that might not follow you, so I know your camera's a little bit far away from your layout right now, but can you give us a quick run through of what your layout is?
Yeah,
is it a specific era? Is it anything like that?
It's not one for purists, I'll tell you that now. So basically, it's set in modern day, give or take a couple of years, early 2000s, mid 90s sort of thing onwards. It's roughly based on the East Coast Main Line, somewhere made up, roughly between Northallerton and Darlington. There's a nice empty stretch of East Coast Main Line there, which sort of fits in area-wise roughly. So it's completely made up. Nothing inspired from anywhere really. I just wanted something fast where I could run big long trains and just make the most out of having trains really and having a layout. So this end we've got the town scene. You probably can't see it on there. Then the station. The station's partially hidden underneath here, so I can get more length of trains. Further down, got the Premier Inn, little couple of houses, and then the other end's the Potash Terminal.
I love how you've got those chains on your layout. I just think that element of realism is just absolutely brilliant.
Which one, sorry, mate?
Spot on.
Like having the Aldi and the Premier Inn and things on there, I think it just adds another dimension, doesn't it?
Well, the Lidl was a kit build from a 3D printing company whose name I can't remember at the moment, and the premium was a scratch build.
Wow.
Just sat one night, just thought I'll see what I can do, and a couple of photos of Google. I'll see if I can. I'll grab that actually.
I'll tell you what. There's one part of that layout of yours that really sticks out to me, and that's the canal scene. I love that bit.
Yeah,
it's just one of my. It's probably my favourite bit about your layout.
do you know what? That was a bit of an afterthought as well. That because I was never going to put a canal in. I was going to have a bigger like industrial estate sort of thing, and I found it in a box full of Little End stuff of the old Hornby Little End stuff I had from years ago. I thought I might as well stick it in somewhere, and must admit it is quite good. I quite like that bit myself. It's one of the best bits I've done, I suppose. That's the premiere.
It's just picturesque British railway line, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Show it to the camera again. I didn't see it.
I mean, that's just
awesome.
Great.
So you got.
I love that.
Got a little detail
That's
inside
got the lobby
there
as well. That's brilliant.
Yeah. It's not great, but first try for something wasn't bad.
Oh, fantastic. So how much of your layout is scratch built then?
Not that much actually. So the only bits that have actually scratch built is that premiere in. You probably can't see it on here, but the blue bridge that's sort of there going over the line. That's a lot of my photos and videos. That one, that's scratch built. And I think apart from that, that's the only other thing that's scratch built. The lift shaft.
Amazing.
Station, because I'm a lift engineer for my job, so
right.
Like seemed a bit there. I had to put a lift in somewhere, but it's added
Put a little bit of you in there.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the rest of it is a couple of Metcalf kits I'd lying around, a couple of Hornby Little End ones. Again, just had them lying around. So what I've had, I've made fit basically. And I bought a few more to fill in places. So yeah,
amazing.
That's brilliant. I'll tell you what, those when Hornby did those, they're called Little End, aren't they?
Little End.
I keep thinking of Scaledale of the double O gauge versions, aren't they?
Yeah.
Or is that Bachman?
It's is it Little End or something for Engage? Sorry.
Yeah, Little End. Yeah.
Because they were beautiful models. I had one or two of those when I had Engage as well.
So that's one of the station buildings from Little End, and the class.
They're great.
They're brilliant. The detail on them's great. It's a shame they can't get them anymore though.
They stopped making them, didn't they?
They stopped them. Yeah, I don't know why.
That was Hornby's only delve into Engage.
Yeah, it's a shame really, because they are really good. They are really good buildings.
I think that's definitely something we're going to have to touch on in a completely separate topic, because I completely agree. The Little End stuff and the Scaledale stuff could have been a great thing for Hornby. And as Phil said, Scenecraft being from Bachman as well, there is plenty of it out there.
There's always different places. There's always different buildings you can model as well. It's it's endless, isn't it? The amount of models they could bring out in those ranges.
Well, for the Little End stuff, for example, they did a Settle and Carlisle station. They did a Gothland station, which I've just started building the Pico competition boards. For the Pico 200.
I'm coming to that.
Right. Well, I'll leave that for then because I've got.
I'm coming to that.
I'll show you that in a minute.
Yeah. Amazing. Cool. So I've got one or two questions coming in already for you, Steve. So Hilton is asking, what drew you to End? So I think he might have dropped out when you mentioned this. So what drew you to Engage, mate?
Yeah, so it was my granddad. My granddad had Engage ever since I was a little kid and well before I was even born. He got my dad into it. And it just went from there, really. Never even had double O gauge, to be quite honest, I've never played with a double O gauge train. Just it's never been in the family, if you like. And it's the space with Engage. I mean, that layout's 12 foot long, be 2 foot 6 wide. In double O, that's almost a shunting plank. Give or take a bit. That's what I like about the Engage side of it. It's what you can fit in is unbelievable. That's why I've stuck with it as well. And I've got a lot of stock built up over 30 odd year. So
Your layout would look absolutely amazing in 7mm.
need a warehouse though.
I know, yeah. You'd probably need like an Arctic trailer to fit it in.
Yeah, probably. So not really a question, but a comment from Morwood. So for those that don't know, Stephen is a massive icon for me. Best guy I know in the mod railway scene. Heart of gold.
Thanks, mate. I'll do the check later.
And a key member of the community as well. So yeah, and if you want to talk to him more often, join the Discord.
The only problem is he doesn't do GWR, which I think is scandalous.
Well, this is where the next question comes in from Oliver Train Walker. Steve, do you have any Great Western Railway models? And if you don't, why? Dapple's Engage panniers are great.
Now,
Which they are.
Somewhere buried, it's either at my house, buried somewhere, or in my parents' house. I have got an Engage GWR pannier tank, like Duck off Thomas. It's one of the really old Farish ones that I had when I was a kid. I don't know where it is. I don't really care, if I'm quite honest. It won't run on DCC without being modified to hell. So I don't tend to bother with that one. But yeah, Hilt sister there, keep it buried. It will, mate, don't worry. It will.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
And then another question coming in. So Polish tank engines. What do you think of the old Graham Farish models?
Bomb-proof. Absolutely bomb-proof. There's I can't actually find it at the moment. I don't think. Actually, I'll tell you what I have got. Rob, pay attention.
I'm paying attention.
Oh.
It's so
slow. Just getting it in early.
Brother, what is that, brother?
That's an old Flying Scotsman, old Farish Flying Scotsman.
I can see that.
The old Farish locos are absolutely fantastic. The weigh a ton, and they just work. Before plastic gears, they're all like brass gears and everything. And I actually put a reel on Instagram a few weeks ago of my Farish GP LNER shunter, the 060. That got on the club layout, and it hasn't been used for 15 years or so. Shot it on the layout and off it went. They just work, you know. If you can get them second hand, they're brilliant. Convert them to DCC isn't exactly straightforward. I've not actually been brave to attempt that yet, but maybe one day.
There's a guy on our Morwood's very good at doing hard wiring. He's a guy who's like a technical wizard, isn't he, in Engage? He's
led me astray with me 158 at one point because I kept blowing my speaker in my 158. So he taught us to put a bigger speaker in, which it worked. To be fair, I didn't blow it up, which was an achievement.
You blew it up. That's the kind of influences we need in this hobby.
Welcome back, Aaron. Amazing. Another in from Oliver Train Walker. What is your favorite loco from your collection?
Do you know, honestly, no offense, I hate questions like this because I find it so hard to pick.
Really?
Honestly,
come on. Okay, you can pick more than one.
Right. Okay, it's got to be an A4. Right. It's got to be an A4.
That's fine.
Right. At the moment, all I'm playing with is the A4s, pretty much. Going back a bit further, probably Tornado.
Good choice.
Tornado about 15 years ago when it first came out in Engage, and at the time it was the one that I'd wanted for a long time because I remember going and seeing Tornado being built, which we'll come on to that a bit later, I suppose. So getting Tornado was right up on the hit list years ago. So in the long run, Tornado, at the moment, the A4s are winning at the moment. Like,
wow. Okay, there you are. A4s. At least he didn't say A1s or A3s. I'm happy with that.
They're the same thing.
Another one in from the Polish tank engine. What loco would you like to have in Engage if you could have any? So I think we're going to give this twofold. We're going to go for one that it exists that you haven't got, and one that doesn't exist that you would like.
Right, I'm going to go for the one that doesn't exist because I'm going to get on a technicality.
Ooh,
The one that doesn't exist yet, a Class 37 that's sound fitted and newly tooled, because the current Farish 37 is quite old and it's all right, but by modern standards, it's a bit behind. It's not sound ready. You have to send it away, get hardwired, or do it yourself if you're brave enough, but I'm not. So for that one, yeah, a new tool, 37.
Okay.
From any manufacturer, don't care from who.
Okay.
As for something that's currently made, I mean, at the moment, I'm still waiting for the Revolution 66 to come. So when that comes, that'd be a bonus. But I suppose, has that been made yet? They're in production. I don't get away with that one.
Maybe we can come back to it. Have a think. Have a think. There's got to be something.
Probably is. It probably is.
Right.
I've heard it's a county.
Fat chance.
What advice are you giving to someone who is on the shelf about starting an Engage? Now, this is a bit of a broad question.
It is, but I feel like there's a bit of a common misconception with Engage that it's tiny, it's unworkable, you can't do anything with it, all that sort of stuff. It's not as small as what people think. I don't actually know where my Farish model is. It's hard to show you on here as well anyway, but Farish bought their Tornado out 15 years ago, and it's still one of the most detailed models that I've got. So the detail is absolutely spot on. If you put a picture of Revolution's 59s or 66s, compare them side by side, they'll look the same as a double O gauge one. So the detail level wise is negligible. It is a bit fiddly at times, I will admit, it can be, but you get used to it. I can't really speak from an eyesight perspective because I don't need glasses or anything. So for me, it's okay. For others, it might not be. Pros, it's got to be the space, hasn't it? It's got to be the space. I mean, like I said earlier, that's 12 foot long, and I've got a full roundy with 3 main lines. So that's the pro to me. And even just the Pico baseboard. That's the 2 Engage tracks on the Pico baseboard. So
wow, okay.
What I'm going to fit on that is probably quite a lot more than obviously what you'd be able to do on double O gauge.
Well, don't stick it down. Don't stick it down. So my question was going to be, we've seen that you bought one of these competition boards.
Yep.
What's your plan for it? I know you detailed it, but let's get that out. Let's get it out in the open.
I don't actually know. You probably won't be able to see it. It's not, I just did it in pencil. So I stand up so I can see what I'm pointing at then. So
no, it's not working. It's not working.
I thought he'd gone then.
I thought I'd gone. Right, so 2 tracks at the bottom. We've actually put the 2 tracks on them because we're going to make it modular for the club that I go to, part of the Engage Society Club. Make the most of a couple of us having baseboards. So it's going to be based on Gothland. I'm not quite sure how accurate I'm going to make it at the moment. Station building roughly there, platforms either side, along there, bridge up that way, a little bit of river along the back of you, and then just basic Gothland station. Because that goes back to the Little End things from earlier, I happen to have the Gothland Little End stock already, but I'm missing a couple of bits, and they're like hen's teeth, which is a shame. So that's the plan. But at the moment, I think one of the guys in the club's going to 3D print some buildings for us, so watch this space, I suppose.
Fantastic. Okay, we got quite a few more questions than I thought we were going to get coming in. So, if you could work for one manufacturer to bring Engage to the market, which would it be?
Do you know, I've always thought Curascale would probably be quite a good one, because I've never actually seen one of the 37s in the flesh, but I've watched videos and that on them, and they look awesome. They look really good. I think another manufacturer like that with a bit of experience coming into N-Gage would really shake things up, and I think it would do a lot of good. Yeah, I'd probably go with the cubic scale.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. I think if they could miniaturize their 37, I think N-Gage people would be laughing.
The 37 is just popular though, aren't they? They're just they're one of those locos. Everyone loves them.
Even I'm being won over by it. It's not good. Phil is asking,
James.
Would you be against Hornby re-entering the N-Gage market instead of doing TT?
No, absolutely not. Go for it. If they want to come into the N-Gage, brilliant. Because more competition is only good, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Aaron's saying, "Have you got any gronks you don't need? My Garrett's like a Time Lord needs a heart transplant."
I have got a Shunter somewhere. I don't actually know where it is, but it's not DCC fitted, so I don't actually run it. It's an old Freightliner 08 one, but it's one of the old Farish ones, so it might be a bit too old.
That's not what he wanted to hear.
No, it's not. Is it?
Not at all. Double M Dave is asking, what gauge or scale would you like to try outside of N if you haven't tried already?
I'd like to try O gauge actually.
Good lad.
It's everybody's, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? I mean, it's polar opposite of N gauge, but again, going back to a class 37, the thought of having a class 37 that's that sort of size with a nice big speaker in it ticking over, that sounds good to me. That like,
yeah,
they sound good.
Wake up your neighbours.
You need the N-Gage one.
And then I think last one for now. Do you own any 009 or HOE stuff?
No, I don't. I've never really done narrow gauge. It's not really something I've ever, apart from the SM32 stuff, the 16mm stuff that I used to do a few years ago, the Garden Railway size stuff. Never really did narrow gauge. Never. I like it. I can appreciate it, but it's not my go-to, if you like. But
yeah, no, I get that. I know for a fact that I have missed a question completely, so I'm really sorry. I'm trying to find it. But
it's from Aaron. Don't worry about it.
Oh, well, if it is from Aaron, I'm just going to skip past it. But there you are, Charlie. Charlie is asking favorite rolling stock in N.
Ooh, that is a good one. Okay, I'm gonna cheat a bit. I'm gonna split it into two parts. I'm gonna go passenger and goods. Okay, so I just looked at that. I've come up with different answers within them 10 seconds. I was going to say the Farish Mark 1s because they're the rake that you probably can't see. They're currently sat just here. I don't know how well you can see that on your screens. I've weathered them all just a little bit, just to take the black plastic shyness off them. Weathered them all up. I've fitted close couplings to them all, so the corridor connections are nice and tight. And as a rake, they look really nice. Closely forward second by my GNR set, because that is nice. Goods, probably my GIA wagons, because I spent quite a lot of time fettling them. As they come from EFE, they're for the China Clear down south. I can't remember where I don't know where they go to now. But they also get used slightly differently for Bulby potash mine up in Yorkshire. Now, there is differences in them. Apparently, the Bulby ones are automatic unloading, whereas these ones are manual. But for what it was worth, I just took the Imerys logos off, weathered them up a bit, and I think they look all right. They're not brilliant, not by like some people's standards, but for me, I quite like them. You know, the work.
Oh, nice.
They fill a gap in your wagon fleet that wouldn't be filled if you didn't have them.
This is true.
And I think because they're a bit personalised as well, it sort of helps a little bit.
No, I get that completely. Some good selections there. All right, fine, Aaron. Fine. Steve, what loco did you ever think twice on buying or not buying? Well, If it's anything like me, everything.
Yeah. Let's have a think. What have I got? Yeah, more stuff really. There's more stuff that's come out that if I've wanted it, it's been like, I want to get that. You know what it's like. The only ones that I've had to think twice about and actually held off. Kato recently released the 9-car Azumas. Now I'd love one, but I've got a 5-car one already, and I can't really justify a 9-car one. Not at the moment anyway, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, I get that. That would be nice, I think.
The 5-car ones are spot on, but they didn't have the 9-car ones available when I bought it, so one of those, isn't it?
Fantastic. Right, we're going to go to the last one then. Polish Tank Engine is asking, is there anything that annoys you about Engage?
No, it's perfect.
It's so bloody small.
Yeah, that is the only thing. Funny enough, couplings, especially not so much these ones, but the ones that have the little tiny springs in. The amount of springs I've lost on the floor.
I was talking
off the garage floor, and that's it. They're gone.
Yeah. I was talking to Lukash about that on Discord because he was looking at getting some Engage stock, and I was like, and I told him that engine looks like it's lost a spring. That one looks like it's lost a spring. You're going to be buying spares for these.
Yeah, that's the one downside of it. If you do lose something little, it's gone. You know. But
yeah, you're never going to find it.
No, I think I found one on the garage floor once by some luck. But yeah.
Crikey. Okay, there you are. So lots of springs for Engage.
Yeah, definitely.
I think for me, I did think about it when I was younger. I was given a load of stuff, and a lot of it was Engage, and I just looked at it and thought, I'm going to crumble. I'm going to absolutely crush this at some point, just without thinking about it. I'm just going to, you know that feeling when you're gonna drop something and you instantly try and grab it.
Yeah.
You know, I just keep thinking I'm just going to crush. You know, it's going to be a coach or something, and I'm going to crush it, and that's it, done.
To be honest, it's not as fragile as you might think. Especially the older stuff. The older stuff's absolutely bomb-proof, and some of the old Minitrix coaches and that they're made of different stuff. You know.
Yeah. No, I get that. Awesome. Well, yeah. So we're gonna slowly move on. When I say slowly, we're literally gonna move. If you've got any more questions for Stephen, join the Discord. He's very, very talkative on the Discord, which we're very happy about. So come and join us over there. Ask him some more questions and get to know him a little bit better, like we are. So we're gonna shimmy on over to the main segment of today's stream, and that's 1-to-1. Whether that's heritage railways, modern railways in general. What is it about it that tickles us so much that we want to model it in miniature form? I think going off our own personal experiences is probably the way for us to go. So why don't we start with our own little backgrounds on, you know, what we like 1-to-1 size and how that's affected our modeling. So Rob, you haven't spoken for a few minutes.
I've been letting you lads do the talking.
What tickles you about 1-to-1, my friend?
It's just awe-inspiring, isn't it? Seeing these massive beasts just stomping around. You know, you can go down the West Coast main line and you've got likes of Tornado and Scotsman running up and down there, or you can come over to my neck of the woods and see how many castles have we got on the main line over here now? What, 3, 4? You know, it's the heritage railways have got a lot to answer for in this hobby, I find. Because if it wasn't for them, I think this whole hobby would be lacking. Because what would inspire these people to actually model it to start with? And it's about keeping history alive as well, isn't it? These heritage railways do such a good job of just. Whereas other countries, they don't get to see the likes of steam locomotives and things like that. We have it in ample supply in this country.
Yeah.
And I'm comfortable saying that the Severn Valley Railway is kind of the reason I'm still into railways to this day.
Yeah, no, I completely get that. Yeah, really agree. Honestly, I think for me, some of my earliest memories were, visiting the SDR, the Midhants, which is literally like a 30-minute drive from my home, and we were there almost every weekend during summers and during the autumn holidays. Down at Christmas, down there for Christmas as well. We did all the specials, everything like that. So it's very surprising that I didn't go very southern, but because I spent a lot of time in the West Country as well, I spent a lot of time around Great Western engines from a young time. So the SDR was like a home away from home for me for a long period of time. And Swanage as well. Actually, I visited Swanage quite a lot as well. But it wasn't just that, it wasn't just the heritage side of things. I used to travel on trains on a daily basis. I used to do long distance trips on a weekly basis. I used to do I say long distance, it's 2.5 hours on a class 158 from Basingstoke to Exeter on a weekly basis. But that's nothing.
Could be worse. Could have been a pacer.
You could have been a pacer. No, but a 158 is ingratiated in my head now, and it was, and every time I do it now, it brings back so much nostalgia. I did it the last time I was in the UK in January. I took my daughter on exactly the same route that I used to take, and all of this nostalgia flooded back. I remembered the sights, the smells, everything on the way. I was pointing out things on the way, going, "Hey, this is here. Hey, this is there." Like everything popped back in.
Yeah.
And I think that's the factor. I think it's that nostalgia factor. Is a lot of people have memories of traveling on trains, which is why you get so many people. I think a lot of people have been mentioning the 30-year rule or the 40-year rule. Recently, I think since Sam and James were doing a podcast on it, I think that is 100% accurate.
Yeah,
I mean, the time period might be a bit debatable, but I think it's 100% accurate.
Yeah, absolutely. Even like for me, going back to when I was a kid, we used to go to North Yorks, go on the Moors Railway. We used to go to Tanfield. At Christmas time, we'd go on the Christmas train at Tanfield. I'll go to the Railway Museum at York because that was only an hour down the road. And I spent far too long stood near my lad in the Railway Museum. So that's probably why. That's probably one of the reasons why I like LNER stuff so much. And going back to what I was saying earlier about Tornado as well, seeing Tornado being built, because Darlington's 20 minutes away from where I live. So it was quite often we'd hop over to Hopetown Works. And I remember going in and seeing a set of frames and a cab, and I don't know how old I'd have been, less than 10, and not being able to picture what it was going to look like. And then a few years rolled by, we went back, and it was in its grey X-Work livery, and I think it was like the first time they steamed it. And I remember just being stood there thinking, like, I saw this as just like basically a pile of metal on the floor, and now it's like this living, breathing like monster, and it was amazing, absolutely amazing. It probably sticks with stuff like that, like.
Yeah, 100%. 100%, and I think that's exactly what the lure of steam is, especially I think especially for the newer modelers as well. Is it's something that they don't see on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And the only time they can see it is either when there's a special on, or when they go to if they go to a heritage site. And the sights, the smells, the sounds. I mean, I remember standing in Ropley, just watching a locomotive simmer away, and it stands out. don't remember what the locomotive is, but I can remember the smell. I can remember, the atmosphere at, late in the evening when all the trains are finished and it's just sat there waiting to be put away,
That
And
reminds
must have been
me
20
of,
years ago,
that reminds me of when on my stag party, funnily enough, me and two of my friends, we were in we went on, did some canoeing for the entire day. We were absolutely bollocks by the end of it. Oh, it's before 9 o'clock. Never mind. And when we got back to Bridge North, because that's where our cars were, we just had a couple of pints in the pub there, and then just went and stood on the footbridge at Bridge North, and just watched the engines just simmering and cooling down, ready before they put them to bed. And it was just, we must have been there for like 2 hours just chatting and listening to that. It was probably the best evening I've had out drinking ever. I was.
Does sound good that way. But a few weeks ago, I went to
brilliant.
go and see Sir Nigel Grizzly on the moors, and I was there a bit too early because I just mistimed it. So I went had a walk up to the depot, and the guys were out cleaning one of the Black Fives, and it was quite therapeutic just sort of standing and watching them polish this Black Five. It's Black Five, but it looked stunning. And like you said, the smell was there, like that oily sort of shed smell that you only get at that sort of place. And it is. I think that's one of the sort of things you don't really get on a modern railway, I suppose.
It's kind of inspiring, isn't it? It's that kind of feeling where you just feel at peace, because all you can hear is the simmering of steam and that you could just see it's just one of those really, it's one of those feelings that just you just feel like you can relax to. But that's definitely something only people in the hobby would understand, because other people are just looking at us thinking, why the hell are they stood there listening to that? I mean, what?
Yeah.
You just think other people just think you're weird, but we can relate. We can relate.
Definitely.
So then I think the question is how is what you've seen in 1-to-1 influence the way you model, and how do you feel it influences other people?
Personally, I think the way that I've seen a lot of, before starting NG7, I saw a lot of videos on the Talaclin, obviously because my favourite locomotive these days is Tom Rolt. So, and there's only one place that locomotive can be found. As much as I'm trying to steer as far away as I can from Slate and the Welsh kind of feel to the place, it's just that it's normally the locomotives that kind of draw people to that particular area, that particular era kind of modelling and all that kind of stuff. And then I feel like it just kind of evolves from there, doesn't it? With the aesthetics of the layout, with kind of the rolling stock, the buildings, and all that kind of stuff. People just kind of build around the rolling stock that they've collected, rather than the other way around. But
yeah, and like I was saying earlier, a lot of my granddad's, because I've got a lot of my granddad's old stock, a lot of his stuff was LNER, because to him LNER was the be all and end all. If it was Great Western, he'd literally spit on the floor. Like, it was that sort of.
He's of that era.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was. Yeah. It was that bad. And I was going with that now.
It gets to you when it's live.
You go off that train of thought, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was it. About stock that you've got, and a lot of my granddad's stock was LNER, so I was used to seeing him running LNER stock, and obviously I still got quite a lot of it. Some BR Blue stuff as well, but I kept a lot of his stuff, and obviously I built my stuff around that as well. But we also live East Coast mainline side of the country, so we see a lot of Azumas. You see GNERs, Northern 158s, Pacers, that sort of stuff. So I think it's what you see around you as well, isn't it? I wouldn't pick up a Great Western 158 because I don't see them. So to me, it's not what I'd buy. But someone down south, absolutely.
Yeah, no, completely agree with that, and I think that's one of the bigger influences on the modern modeling, and actually why I think companies need to start focusing on modern stock
Yeah.
is because it's what people are seeing on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Which is why I think the Electro Star is going to be a big hit. No, at least it seems it's been a big hit already. I think it will be an even bigger hit when it finally pops up because it covers quite a few bases. But I do think Bachmann have recently done an update on the 455s, which covers another broad set of consists that are up and down the southwest region as well. So modern modelers are starting to be catered for quite a bit.
It's
very, very.
It's great to see.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not to say that some of these people that have been doing the changes, they've been scratch building. I think Ebsworth Street has done a few. There's a few other people on YouTube and Instagram that completely space my mind right now that have, for the last few years, have been taking ready-to-run models and either
various multiple units.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Southwest Max on Instagram does quite a lot of that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
exactly.
There's some brilliant stuff out there for people doing that sort of stuff.
Exactly. Tell you what, if these manufacturers keep at it, they're going to be out of a job soon.
I don't think so.
No, there are infinite amount of multiple units that have been out and about, and they're never all going to be catered for. No. I mean, there's this really rare LMS one that they're thinking about scrapping down at the 1-to-1 collection that probably will never see a model, for example. But it's good to see that people coming into the hobby are actually going to get to model their era. Because, although we're happy modelling the Steam era, even though we never saw it, James, did we?
No.
I mean, we're happy to do
actually,
that. Yeah. No. But there are a lot of people out there who do, they're not interested in Steam, they're interested in what they commute in. And that's completely fair.
I mean, so for me, I very much almost modelled the end of the 90s. Because that's what I remember. I remember Southwest trains, Class 158s. I remember. Well, I say I remember. That's about all I remember. But the point is that was what that period was what I remember, and it would have been anything around there was what I sunk my teeth into. It's only because of the influence of the heritage lines. And admittedly, I have a friend who also has a 30s LMS
Coventry,
giant Coventry build going on.
Since you said Coventry, my earliest railway memory that I have is my parents using Coventry Leisure Centre back when I was a kid. And me and my dad always used to catch the train back to Rugby from Coventry Station, and it was always an intercity swallow, class 91.
I mean, it's perfect.
You guys in the Shunting Yard, hosts, knew what I was up against when I was changing scales, and I threw that around no end of times. Like, I really want to do that, but those trains are just so iconic as well.
Yeah.
Class 91s they're just brilliant engines.
Yeah, completely understand that. Right, let's have a few comments going from the chat here. So Phil is saying, what got me into steam locomotives and going on steam locomotives, modeling it to, was the Little Blue Tank engine. Now, I don't want to go too deep into the Little Blue Tank engine because technically that starts on Thursday. May is the Little Blue Tank engine month, supposedly. So I think there's a lot of people that are the same, but we're not going to go into that. We're waiting for Hilton to come back so we can annoy him with it.
Yes, we love a bit of annoying Hilton.
Charlie, yep, Severn Valley Railway. I could never have guessed, Charlie. I could never have guessed that the Severn Valley Railway was the reason you got into railway models. What was our conversation earlier? How many of the models do you have that are directly from the SVR, or that you're planning to renumber into the SVR? And
I
then
think it's the
Morwood,
vast majority of them, isn't it?
I think so. And then Morwood saying, I get the same nostalgia every time I hop onto a Class 150 that has 4 coaches. If you know, you know. Yes. Yes, we do. What have we got here? Plenty more going on. Hilton's drinking whiskey on the beach. Drink one for me, mate.
Can't be bad.
I wish I was there at the beach. It'd be so nice.
Yeah, completely agree. Dim Moore is saying, Rob, 100% agree with you. Bridge north with the pint in your hand at the end of the day. The sound, the smell, heaven. We're going to have to do it one day, lads. We're going to have to do it. It needs to be done.
When you and Hilt come over here next, we will be making an effort to have a Shunting Yard get together.
We will do a live.
A live, yes.
Live.
Maybe even from my loft. Who knows?
Double M Dave is saying class 321s. Don't know if he's pulling my leg or not.
Do you know there's so many of these DMUs and EMUs down south? I have no idea what half of them are.
Well, yes.
The variety of them is absolutely... All we get up here is 158s, 156s, and we used to get 142s, the paces, on the 185s, the Transpennine ones. It's pretty much it.
Yeah, because that's all you were given was paces.
Yeah. You only retired them like 2 years ago.
We've still got 158s running down past me at the moment, and they're being outclassed by the 197s, which are coming into service now. They've been tossed around so many times, I've forgotten when they're actually supposed to be due in service now. False promises.
Always. Andy's saying Chiltern Railways class 165s and 168s were my childhood. Double M Dave is saying 321s, 360s, and 90s. Double O Dave is asking who the imposter is. I feel like we're going to get the Spider-Man meme coming out in a minute.
Who was asking about the Chiltern?
Andy, Chiltern 165s.
There you go, Andy. 168.
168, there you go.
It's not the East Coast mainline though, but
what can you do, eh?
I liked it.
Spring Cottage Model Railway. When did we all get our first train set, and what was it? Steve.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I never actually had a train set as such. Never bought like an off the shelf set, if you like. My first layout at home would have been one of my dad's that was on a 6x3 board. Never really sort of came much. Then I had I think my own sort of personal one when I was at home with my parents was on I think it was a 4x2 board. That was just a little roundy and engage. And I played with that for hours and hours. So that was my first one, yeah. Just a little 4x2. Double track roundy. Perfect.
Double track roundy, nice.
Yeah.
Rob?
My first train set was a Graham Farish pannier tank set. And my dad set up a door kind of sized layout in my room back when I was probably about maybe 9. It was really early, like pannier tank, and he also got me a Duchess and a 4F as well. So, but they are the earliest trains I remember having, and I remember having the pannier all the way up until I started collecting O gauge when I sold everything as well. But yeah, that set was absolutely fantastic and got me hook, line, and sinker into this bloody hobby. What about you, James?
For me, it was I must say it was a little blue and a little green tank engine. When I was like 3 or something
Was that-
like that.
Was that an E2 and a Peckett by any chance?
Whatever the pocket rocket chassis Hornby were using at the time.
I must admit, if I go back a bit further, I used to have the is it Tomix or Tommy Tech with the blue blue Thomas track. That might have been my first.
Tommy,
that was it. Tommy.
Yes.
That was it.
I had
Brilliant.
all of that.
Brilliant.
That was our play trains, wasn't it?
Yeah, brilliant stuff.
That and Brio.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Brio. I've still got that at my grandmother's, I swear. Like
we bought some Brio for my daughter. Well, for my daughter.
Yeah, it's always for your daughter, isn't it?
It's a way of passage, isn't it, for kids who
definitely.
Daughters or sons of railway enthusiasts.
Phil was saying in the 80s it was Pacers or some other soulless DMU. Now it's 755 Flirts, which ain't bad, but expensive at Hornby and don't have the space. Expensive, but they do look good. They do look rather good.
The price of this hobby keep climbing.
Yes, they do. Sam says, I fell off the wagon on modelling. It just felt like all the stories of railways had been exhausted for me, but I later learned that I only ever heard stories about the Northeast and the Midlands. So what brought you back to it? Let us know in the chat what brought you back. What stories brought you back? If you're into stories, actually, Railway 200, there is a new episodic podcast that they mentioned a few days ago, where they're bringing various tales from different parts of the country. Funny stories, heroic stories, sad stories, things like that, as an episodic form. If that's something you're into, just even a self plug, but a plug for that there. Apparently, we're missing some drama in the chat. We've got Double O Dave, Double M Dave. Someone's asking for Double D Dave.
This is deteriorating quicker than we thought.
Yes. So Spring Cottage is saying, I'm Dave too, true story. So Dave from Spring Cottage is asking for Double D Dave. It's all going south.
Did Aaron start this?
No, it wasn't. There are 36 in the chat.
if there's ever chaos in the chat, I always wonder if it's Aaron first.
It's got to be Aaron, isn't it?
Normally is, yeah.
Morwood is saying, before N, I used to be Double O, and the first set was a flying teapot. So that's good.
Yeah.
No, they are the entry level set for a lot of people our age. So I'll let you have that.
They're still the entry level, aren't they? Really?
Dave.
May Hornby keep pushing them.
Dave is saying, I had the green Holden tank mixed traffic for my 5th birthday many moons ago. My father made a folding down 6x4 off the wall in my bedroom, and that's all the kit I found in my bed. Wow, that must have been a find. It must have been an absolute find. Andy's saying it's beyond 9 p.m, so you absolute shunts.
Whoa!
I said it once as a joke on Discord, and it seems to have stuck. So,
well, I've actually got a hoodie being made for me at the moment that says I do all my own shunts, and then it's got the Shunting Yard logo under it.
Definitely needs to be done. We will be doing that at some point.
It's a Kiln 9 hoodie, and so keep an eye out for me at the Surrey Model Railway exhibition. You'll see it in flesh.
Oh, fantastic. Can't wait for that. Who have we got here? We've got Phil. I stopped modelling for 20 years as I got into motorsport and gaming, but it was my stroke last year that got me back into it and reawakened my love for model railways. Yeah, I think for a lot of people, actually, it was also COVID.
Yeah, absolutely.
being restricted to home. I know for me, you know, I don't know if a lot of people are aware of it as a sport, but I used to play airsoft almost every single weekend while I was in the UK and when I moved here. And when COVID hit, it completely destroyed the scene. Like completely destroyed the scene. And I moved into my house literally like towards the trailing end of it. And I had nothing to do. Had absolutely nothing to do. And I met my English mate, and suddenly it all came flooding back, you know? So yeah, definitely think that's a big trigger as well for influencing the modeling side of things.
COVID was probably the reason that Hornby still exists today, because they were struggling before COVID, and then the whole boom of the hobby during the whole pandemic probably saved them.
I think I missed the whole getting back into model railways due to COVID thing. For some reason, I'd never even thought. Cause I had a bit of like a hiatus sort of thing, I suppose, and I didn't start building Finborough until 2022. So COVID was sort of pretty much done. I don't know why I never even thought of doing it over COVID. It would have saved a lot of wasted time. But
well, as me and SBJ said in the last episode of this, when we did the last live stream, me and him both played Warhammer like right up until COVID hit, and that too suffered massively because of the pandemic.
I suppose model railways you can do it in your. I don't know about Warhammer. I've never done it, but I suppose you can do a bit of it, can't you? But
you play with trains by yourself, don't you?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, look at this. I'm in my garage by myself.
Yeah.
Says it all, doesn't it?
You're here with us in spirit.
Right. So Andy is saying, is it acceptable that since it was my first train set, and yes, it was the Flying Scotsman, I only ever ran the oval on the carpet? No, never acceptable.
Get out.
Go to the corner.
Flying Scotsman's acceptable. Just get in there.
Yeah. The Flying we will accept the Flying Scotsman.
Running on the carpet? Nah.
Yeah, get out. Here, Hilton, 130 subs and you all want merch. Okay. Okay.
Hilton hasn't even released his merch yet, and he's on 3.5K.
We're still waiting for Hilton. He did it once, and we haven't heard it since. Derek,
all I got was a mug that the logo came off.
Derek, my first set was a Hornby Nightmail set in the early 70s with a Class 37. I hear a lot of people really like that set. And I'm kind of disappointed I don't have one. Because I think that would have been nice.
The Nightmail set, that should have come with a DVD of the film.
Should it?
Do you remember that film, The Nightmail?
No. I'm going to be... No.
Nope.
Come on. Have you seen it, Stephen?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, I feel like an idiot now.
Do you know what? I'm going to go and find it so that I can give you my verdict.
It's got a really catchy music to it. But it's an LMS film. It's like made way back. It's not like a full film. It's basically just like an informative film that was made back when they used to run Raw Mail on the railways.
Dave says Rob thinking of Night Mail, MALE.
What is going on? I feel attacked.
Charlie, so we get back to topic. Charlie says I came back into model railways in 2023 after a massive sell-off in 2016. It was the worst decision of my life selling at all.
Ooh.
I think a few people might have some similar stories with that coming back into the hobby.
I feel for you selling it all off and coming back. Like I
feel
couldn't.
for that. I feel. Yeah, I definitely feel for that. They are. John T says Betamax film. Does that ring a bell for you, Rob? A Betamax film of Night Mail? British
It might be.
broadcasting sampled Night Mail.
There's got to be someone in the chat who knows exactly what it is.
I'll try and find it, all right? I'll try and find it.
Because it does exist, and I didn't imagine it. I've had a whiskey, so there is every chance that I might have done.
I was going to say, the Polish tank engine. My first set was the Pico 57160, but with a fictional German steam engine and 3 trucks. Now, you're going to have to send that in the Discord somewhere so we can get a good look at that, because I'm very interested in that. It's being where I am, a lot of continental modeling goes on around me. It's a lot of German modeling. So very interested to see that. I thought he was going over to go and get this Polish tank locomotive or something, and no, he's just going to go and get.
Just stretching his legs.
Yeah, I haven't got anything. Actually, I've got some continental stuff actually, with just Canadian, but trying to sell it off. So.
Fair enough. But yes, so we keep your stories coming in for sure. But I think we definitely want to touch a bit more on, am I behind enemy lines? I'm always behind enemy lines, Dave. No, I'm not that. I'm not that far east. I'm very close, and I will be even closer in a few days. For those that my in-laws are 20 miles from the Ukraine border, so
he's the British diplomat. He's going to go and beg Putin to.
I will do nothing of the sort. I am good where I am, thanks.
Can you go steal me a T-54 or something, please?
Well, it's funny you say that. There are quite a few of them. We're going way off topic now, but there are quite a few of them dotted around that side of the country as end-of-war monuments. Like, literally, there are statues with actual tanks just bolted to them.
Just imagine when this war's over, how many more there will be.
Oh yeah, so we can go and get ourselves a nice Challenger 2 that's been that's been rented to the Ukrainians. Yeah.
What model are they wearing it?
I mean, if you're gonna borrow a tank that's been used, it might as well be a Challenger 2. Right, going way off topic now. We're not talking about tanks. We're talking about trains. So I'm going to hark back to a comment that Hilton made quite a while ago. Along the lines of that the Black 5 is the beating heart of the heritage scene.
Nah, don't believe that.
No, I'm sorry. I think I have to agree with him.
I must admit, they're everywhere, aren't they?
I agree with him because they are everywhere.
No, they're not.
They really are.
They're not.
And they're not great weapons, so it's even better.
The Severn Valley don't even have one anymore.
But they had one.
They did, but the thing is, right, is that what films are a Black 5 in? What films are a Hall in?
Well, I mean, if you want to
Google that, there must be a Black 5 in a film somewhere.
Yeah, pull it out. Quick.
We're not going there, okay? That we're not going to start googling Black 5s.
Fact checking live. Steve McQueen's Blitz film. There you go.
Shots fired. Shots fired from Hilton. You've never been 5 miles away from the SVR in your life.
I used to live in Rugby, which is more than 5 miles away.
This is true. So actually, Sam, you raise a question here. Harry Potter. I think there are a few people that were definitely introduced to the hobby because of Harry Potter and the hall that wanted to be a castle. Aren't we lucky that we didn't get Tor Valley painted in red? So yeah, I don't know. I think that's definitely a good shout, and I think Hornby have milked that for quite a while. They definitely brought out a lot of sets.
They've I think they made like 4 revisions of it, haven't they? Something stupid like that.
They did one for every film, dude. They did a new set for every film, and some. I think there were in some of the films there were 2 variations.
Wow.
Hornby.
You know. What are they going to do when they bring out the TV series?
Every week.
I mean, where is Alton Hall right now?
In a museum.
Is it in Japan or something?
No, Alton Hall is at the is in the Harry Potter exhibition in Watford.
It's in Watford. It's in the Warner Brothers Studios, right? They have a deep fake of it in Japan.
Ah, right.
That's Dumbledon Hall.
Right, yeah. Right.
Which is an absolute horror to know that they took an actual locomotive and stuck it on a trolley.
But apparently, Alton Hall is coming up in the queue now for restoration.
Well, I think there might be a reason for it coming up in the queue for restoration.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a funny feeling that if they're going to want to use any locomotive to do any of the live shots, because they will do, it will have to be Alton Hall.
And so there'll be some money on rail tours as well.
And also he'll make money for the North Yorkshire Moors as well.
Indeed. Indeed. So actually, anyone who visits the North Yorkshire Moors, keep an eye out for cameras.
Yes.
And tell us when you see them.
I like Up and Onwards comment just there.
Oh, Aaron. Oh, not again.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. He's right. He's right.
Oh. And
what about Pendennis Castle?
What? What's that?
What about Pendennis Castle? Oh, and City of... I forgot about that one.
Petition to get the Great Marquee into the Harry Potter series.
Oh, that's the one that's been stuffed and mounted in Scotland somewhere.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to Google this.
I think that's been the one.
K4s?
Yeah,
K4s,
I believe that one was stuffed and mounted with the Union of South Africa, which is also a Hilton engine.
I mean, it looks good, but
no, K4s and B1s. They are my favourite LNER loco. All the others can go to hell.
That's bold.
Get Duchess of Hamilton out instead. She's already... Yes, but it's not a castle. I mean, neither's the hall, but you know.
Do you know what? I would settle for a streamlined coronation.
No. There's already too much controversy regarding Harry Potter. Let's not dig into that.
Are we not going into the lore?
No, I mean, it is a world full of wizards and everything, so...
Yeah, a large influence from Harry Potter on a lot of modelers growing up.
It's either that or an E2, isn't it?
It's either that or an E2. Although I do have to hark back to a comment from Aaron.
Not him again.
We're talking cobblers. The ex-industrial austerity locomotives were backbones on heritage lines before the former mainline locos took over. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah. But then you could then say that Gronks have been the backbone of British Railways for the last 60 years.
Because there's still like 87 of them in service.
Still 87 of them in service.
I think the 37's probably got a good claim at that as well.
And exactly,
I'd say, yeah.
37s, yeah.
You know?
Totally agree with that.
Hang on. Don't diss Great Western locos in Scotland. There was a pannier. It worked there for a while. Great Western got to Scotland. End of story.
Western Engine's got everywhere. Well, actually, hang on a minute. Alton Hall got to Scotland.
Literally up the East Coast Main Line.
Because it got to Glenfinnan Viaduct. No, Glenfinnan Viaduct. So it must have got there somehow. It didn't magic there. Oh wait, hang on a minute. It might have done.
Harry, yes, you are late, but better late than never, my friend. Thank you very much for joining us. So yeah, I think we can safely say that modern modeling is is getting better. It's getting better for sure. The influence is definitely there and is definitely improving. But I think heritage lines are definitely the backbone of bringing people into the hobby.
You're never too far from a heritage line either, are you? You hear quite a lot of that from like people on the continent in America and stuff, and they say that you can drive for miles in America and not see a heritage line. But I mean, I live in Teesside, and within an hour's drive, we've got North Yorks, Lehman Bar, Wensleydale Railway, sorry. There's Tanfield a bit further up. That's 3 within an hour at least, and that's just a couple off the top of my head.
Yeah. I've got 8 within driving distance, within like an hour and a half of me, and spoilt for choice.
I think even where I am in Basingstoke, or at least where I was in Basingstoke, there's 5 or 6 within an hour and 20-minute drive. You know, it's not far at all. If you want to push it to 2 hours, 2.5 hours, I mean, you get to almost anything. You know. And having lived here and doing 2 and a bit hour drives on a constant basis, for me, it's just like, yeah, okay, that's worth it. You know, like. It's a similar problem here. There are only 3 heritage lines in the country, and they're all narrow gauge. And they're all very, very, very close to not operating on a yearly basis. So
one thing I would say is that anybody travelling to the UK to visit the heritage railway scene, don't ignore the small railways, because they are normally the ones with the most character.
I actually have to say this. I think the narrow gauge lines,
the Welsh ones, are bloody brilliant.
I think the Welsh narrow gauge lines are where a lot of people outside of the UK are most familiar with.
The Talaclin especially
the Talaclin. I think North Yorkshire Moors is probably the most, I would say it's probably the most wide known.
I think North Yorkshire's helped because of Harry Potter, though. Like a lot of people.
Because of Gothland.
Well, the thing is, even before Harry Potter, it was where Heartbeat was filmed. So that really had a bit of a double whammy over the years. So they've done quite well, really, out of TV and film.
Also, recently they'd had the Traitors series was filmed there.
Right.
I hate watching the intros to that, because they change from an LMS branded locomotive to a BR branded locomotive, and then back to an LMS branded Black 5, literally in the same sequence, and I'm like,
James is there twitching, just like
I'm stopping it and reminding it, going, look, it's a different number.
And his wife is just saying, James, can I just fucking watch it, please?
But yeah, I definitely think North Yorkshire's holding up the international influence of British British heritage. I can't think of another one. Honestly, I can't think of another one that has as big a presence.
The Severn Valley was in Enola Holmes, which was on Netflix.
That's true.
2857 was in that, but they gave it a fucking really ridiculous tender for some reason. Our swearing's all coming out now, but everybody...
We're allowed, it's fine. If any heritage line would like to support the stream, I'm sure the lads would accept sponsorships as a drinks bonus. Sure.
I tell you what, I was at the Lakeside and Haverthwaite Railway.
That's a great railway, that one.
Easter. It is, and they do a nice beer as well. If you're if you're over that way, pick a bottle of the beer. What the beer is nice.
Right, we're gonna have to do beer testing session on different railways. Okay, I'm down. I am planning a mid-Hants rat train later this year. So a real ale train is gonna be good. I haven't done one of those in years, so that's gonna be fun. The KWVR was on Last of the Summer Wine using a pannier. So there you are. Neen Valley has cameos in 2 James Bond films. So there you are. They do get around.
Octopussy and Goldeneye, yeah.
What?
You heard. I'm not repeating myself. Just so you can take the mic.
Yeah. Charlie saying, yes, a Class 20 dressed up as a Russian missile train.
Yep.
Hang on. Why do I not remember this?
You clearly haven't watched Goldeneye.
Ah, do you know
Not in
what?
a long time.
Now you mentioned it, I do remember seeing it, and it's odd. If you didn't know it was a Class 20, I don't think you'd pick up on it. But once you know it's a Class 20, you see it.
It's the cab.
Yeah,
You
it is.
can't
It's the cab. Yeah.
unsee it. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna show this to everybody now since I've mentioned it and I've looked for it. But there you are. There's your.
That's a really shit picture.
It's a
There
really.
we go.
Look at
See
that.
it now.
God, that looks horrid.
It's
But,
brutal,
you know,
isn't it?
It looks like a Pokemon.
It looks like the East of Ireland statues.
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly what was popping into my head. There you are. My blimey. Okay, so I'm never gonna unsee that. Wow. Neen Valley is in the music video for Queen's Breakthrough. Okay, so Proper Chuff now Hilton needs a 3D print of that body so he can adapt to Class 20 because it's a cool looking logo.
Someone does a caricature version of that in 009.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember who it is, but it is available. Works on a Kato 1. Is it a 191 chassis or something like that? I'm sure Aaron will be able to correct me on that, to be fair.
Hilton is clearly completely cut at this point. I mean, he is on a beach, so he is.
What's he saying?
Oh no, about it being a cool loco.
Oh right, it is quite cool. I think it's cool how they managed to change it to something so iconic that barely anybody would recognise it as a Class 20, unless you're a railway enthusiast.
Yeah.
They put a lot of work into it, much like they did for the Mission Impossible Britannia.
Now, well, before we go again way off topic, another 2 places that step into mind when it comes to influencing modelling are the National Railway Museum in York and Didcot, and I think they are 2 massive proprietors of influencing young modelers because they're being dragged there by current modelers. And I think, having that opportunity to get up close and personal, touch, climb into the cab, you don't usually get to do that on a heritage line unless you pay for a driver for a day or, one of those massively expensive experiences. But to be able to just waltz up to an A4, and just touch it, take a picture with Linton from Proper Chuffed, I think that kind of nudge is the right thing, and I think they're doing really well with it.
I remember going to the Railway Museum in New York when I was a kid. My chair keeps going down, and do my nut in this chair. I remember going there as a kid and going in the cab with my lad, and it was just like, it was amazing. Like as a kid, that was fantastic. That's what you wanted.
I think it's almost like the adult version of the Science Museum.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
going to the Science Museum as a kid and wanting to touch everything, and I think it's exactly the same when I went to Didcot, when I went to NRM. Sam, I know you've mentioned locomotion, and I was going to mention locomotion as well, and that's the one place I do want to go. So if I'm ever up that far, I will go there. But for sure,
The Severn Valley also have a hall in their engine house that you can climb into the footplate of as well now. My
brilliant.
daughter loves going on that thing and playing.
Steam and Swindon as well. Andy mentioned, yeah, that's also a very good one. So I'm quite lucky. Swindon is very close for me, so whenever we go shopping there, I just stand in the middle and just
Gorp.
just gorp. You lot go shopping. I'm gonna stand here for a while. Can't believe no one has mentioned the Bluebell Railway. Well,
none of us are southern.
Yes, but also
I've never been.
I speak to quite a few continental modelers here, and none of them have ever mentioned the Bluebell Railway. They've always mentioned the North Yorkshire Moors or the Tallaglyn or something, or even Swanage, because the T3 recently, came back into steam, so that was very big, but not a lot of people that I've met continental model side, and that's from a lot of people from different countries in Europe, have never mentioned it. So, but I do agree, it is a lovely place, at least from what I've seen. I would love to visit there sometime, but just a bit too far. Too far.
the main thing the Bluebell have got at the moment is Beachy Head that I really want to go and see.
That was an interesting double header, wasn't it, when Grizzly was down there?
Really was.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be long before it turns up at the Valley, though, so I'll never have to go down that far.
Derek got to stand on the footplate of Snodrell Grizzly at Steamtown, Carnforth in the late 70s and got to feed it. You lucky devil.
Very jealous. Very jealous.
That's, wow, yeah. Yes, Hilton is saying, please like the stream. We've never had more than 20. Yes, please do.
Everybody,
please. Don't forget the Epping and Onaga Railway, closest to London, I believe.
Oh, they were in that really particular film, weren't they? That was on a 18 rated site.
But there's your thing that. Yeah. Okay. The bonus and Kinneal Railway.
That's a nice little railway. That got a nice class 37. That sounds good. We got to see that a few years back.
Ah, there you
go. Haven't they even got they've got a battery powered class 91 DVT as well, haven't they?
Don't know. Not sure.
I think it was Bowness that's got one of those. They've got a DVT and they just converted it to battery power.
I mean, why not?
We're all for renewable energy, aren't we? All being steam enthusiasts.
Well, yeah, I mean, what do you do, eh? No. Yeah, Hilton's regretting not going to the Bowness. One day I will get further north than Watford, if there is a north of Watford.
Hang on, do we need to bring up the MERP map and find where that is? We've got the man behind it right here.
Crikey. Great Central is worth a visit purely for seeing heritage locomotives running on a double track and Swindon sidlings. I wanted to behold. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I would love to see one of the. I would love to see the 9F on a goods train at the Great Central. I think seeing that on a video, it made me want to go there to see it in person.
Well, have you guys seen that they've got the Mount Sorrel branch that now runs alongside them?
Yeah.
So basically, they're the country's only mainline heritage railway that also has its own branch line.
Yeah,
it's just fantastic, especially on gala days. I can imagine that place is absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, definitely summer. I want to add. Stratfold Barn is pretty amazing.
Oh yeah,
Or Statfold Barn, sorry.
James, you would love Statfold. It's
I'm
just
sure I
absolutely
would.
brilliant.
I'm sure I would. West Highlands into Festiniog is the most wonderful narrow gauge route in the country.
Agreed. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think coming out of Porthmadog, and going around past the works. I've not been there, but I've seen enough of it that it makes me like, yeah, that could be beautiful. Like on a nice sunny day as the sun's going down. Definitely
James,
imagine just sitting there.
You'd go home wanting to start a 009 layout.
We already know when I'm going to start a 009 layout. We are just waiting for the exact date.
When that Rydal tank finally comes out.
We are just waiting for the exact date, and that's it. Whether I get this done before then will be a different story.
Yeah, you need to get that third point done first.
Fourth?
No
Fourth.
way. Are you shitting me?
Give it a year, you'll have it done.
He'll have his whole layout finished by next year.
I said that last
Yeah, he did. He really did, yeah.
Obviously going to represent my own and shout out the Gloucestershire and Warwickshire Railway. Try saying that if you're from anywhere other than the UK.
The GWSR is a brilliant railway.
GWSR is great.
I went there for my honeymoon after my wedding. It was brilliant. That was before the Broadway extension, and I've heard that is just as fantastic. And they've also got a narrow gauge there as well, which is open on gala days, which is also really awesome.
Yes, Harry, it's tempting. We're not going down that rabbit hole.
What's that, Scotsman?
No, 009 rabbit hole. we had a lengthy discussion about it, and we're both not going down that rabbit hole. Linton and Barnstaple as well is another good one.
Mm-hmm. I've got my claim to the Linton and Barnstaple right here.
The Romney Hythe and Dymchurch Railway, isn't that the
Yes.
Shunting, the influence for the smaller little engines in the books?
Yeah. No, that's Ravenglass.
Is that Ravenglass?
Yes, that's Ravenglass and Eskdale, yeah. The Romney Hythe and Dymchurch is it's the same scale, but it's basically a main line that goes on for, I believe, 13 miles.
Oh wow, okay.
Which, if you can imagine that in scale, that would probably be the longest heritage railway in the UK.
Ravenglass to Eskdale. Okay. Hilton is asking, how did Amy feel about that, Rob?
Which one? The honeymoon, yeah. We have a thing in our relationship where we do things that we each enjoy more. So we go to railways, we do horse riding, so we kind of just do each other's thing. So it's a 1-for-1 kind of fun deal.
That's nice. I've watched soppy TV. West Somerset Railway is great too. Having a turntable at Minehead is great. So actually, West Somerset is one I completely forgot to mention. So for one of my holidays a year, we always went to Butlins, and it was always Minehead. It was always Minehead, and it was great because it was at the point where we'd take the train and we'd get off and purposely get on the WSR and do the last bit of the journey on the WSR.
That's amazing.
Even if we were driving, we'd make sure we get dropped off and would do the rest of the journey, and whoever was driving would do the last bit of it themselves. So yeah, can definitely get that for sure.
Well, the WSR is even better during gala days now because they open the Norton Triangle, so they can turn engines around at both ends. That's
what Charlie's just mentioning as well, which is great.
It's amazing to see a heritage railway that can do that. I believe the only one that has got that's aspiring to do that is a Severn Valley, because they plan on putting a turntable at Bridge North eventually, from what I've heard.
So there you are. Okay, so I think we're going to probably start rounding down here. So if you've got any questions or any additional comments or anything like that, please throw them at us. Yeah, be more than happy to add on to that. I know this isn't our usual pep and our usual time, but I think having that additional time going into the Tuesday has been a little bit of a knock from the
Isn't that gone off? I think lost it. Oh, there we go. He's back.
If you have any personal questions for Stephen, then please throw them his way.
Please send any more. Please send any more at all. So, a quick thing from Sam here. So, there's always been a hint of railway in my family's backstory. Great-great-grandfather was a caterer in a restaurant carriage, and my dad grew up during the closing days of steam and taught me all he knew. That's amazing. Amazing.
That's great.
That's cool.
I'm going to say it, World War II Flying Scotsman. Why are you saying World War II Flying Scotsman?
People like that one for some reason, even though it's still a Scotsman.
Well, it is the best livery for it.
I guess. I prefer the 4472,
Wartime black on that is probably the better livery.
If it's not apple green, it's not right.
Agreed. Yes.
If it's not, it's the same with Tornado. I know they just repainted Tornado and that Brunswick green, and it looks spot on. But if it's not apple green, it just doesn't look right.
Aaron, you obviously haven't watched my latest video if you're asking this question.
Pity. Can't believe he hasn't watched your video, James. You have to give him some grief after this.
I'm gonna. I did a shunting session in my last video, and there is another one coming this week.
He's actually got some track.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Oh, BR Express Blue on Pacifics is great. That's now, the Blue worst Peter. Livery on the Flying Scotsman.
Yeah, but Blue Peter looks stunning with it on.
Yeah, the only loco that should have that livery is Blue Peter.
Yeah, it looks stunning.
Oh, I don't know. I like Sir Nigel.
Actually, yeah,
I do like Sir Nigel.
Yeah, Sir Nigel suits it.
Yeah. I personally feel like we need a silver A4.
That was what Bitten was painting, wasn't it? A few years back, or quite a long time.
Yeah, I think it was Silver Link for a bit, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure how I feel about that at all. On an Express Blue on a spam cam. I don't know.
I reckon they look better as purple.
It feels weird. Yeah, no, they don't. I showed Tor Valley in the purple to my daughter, and she went, "I like that," and I went, "Oh god."
They should do it pink next time, shouldn't they?
Some of the renders of it being in pink they look great. Bittern was pretending to be Silverlink.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's an A4. They can all pretend to be each other, right?
They're all the same. A bit like the A1s and the A3s. They're all the same.
Not biting. At least they haven't got all brass tops on them, but you know.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
I'm sorry, but the Great Western found a design and they kept to it because it worked.
I'm not going there. We're not
having an argument live on stream.
We're not having an argument. We're not doing that. No, thank you very much, guys. Keep them coming. Any more questions? Any more stories? Any more things that brought you into the hobby? Steve, how many 37s are you planning on buying, and why not more than 37 37s? You're a fine one to talk, Hilton.
He is. He's a bad influence as well. At the moment, none, because I feel a bit grudged parting me hard-earned cash from an older model. I say older model, slightly older tooling. Because knowing my luck, I'll buy one or two, and then they'll release a new tooling. So I'm biding my time because it'll have to be sound fitted. What's the point of having a 37 if it's not sound fitted? It's just
It needs to roar its nuts off, doesn't it?
it does. Yeah, it does. And no, I'm not selling the Air Force Hilton. Absolutely not.
Do it.
Absolutely not.
Hilton's probably the worst. Hilton's definitely the worst person in our little group as being an influence because he's talked me into buying so much rubbish that I don't need.
Charlie, my dad grew up next to Original Station before it closed. Apparently, as a toddler, he went missing, and my nan found him running up to the station as he'd escaped the house. I mean, who wouldn't?
I love that. My wife it got to the point before my daughter was born that if I went missing, she'd go and check the Telford Steam Railway. Because that's where I'd be.
Find me at the pub. If the pub is there, then I'm probably at the pub. Yeah.
But what if there's a heritage railway?
Then I'll be at the pub at the Heritage Railway.
The Severn Valley has many pubs.
Matt, I think this brings a lot of people back to things. And nearly all male grandparents and great-grandparents are hooked on the railway. Yeah, I think that's also a big thing as well. My grandfather was very big into his model railways. He was into Engage, actually. He was the big influence that was taking us to heritage sites, things like that. So
yeah,
definitely a big influence.
Yeah,
and on both sides of the family, for sure. So
I think our grandparents have a lot to answer for, don't they, James?
Yes, yeah, for sure.
yeah, my granddad certainly does.
Yes, remind me to talk to my grandmother and have a go at her for terrible influence.
Terrible, absolutely awful. It could be drugs, but it's trains instead.
She should pay reparations so I can buy more models.
Yeah. You started this.
Well, what can you do, eh? Sam, when you talk to people at shows who really know a lot more about this stuff than you ever will, there's a feeling of envy and wanting to make something half as good as they do. Honestly, that I think was the direct influence for me wanting to do what I do. Was because I saw other people were doing it after many years, and I thought that's where I want to get to.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is to start how they did, because they didn't start with ready to run track. They didn't start with anything like that. And yeah, I completely get that for sure. Matt's just identified 90% of the hobby. I would say 98% of the hobby.
Are we being called out?
Well, no need to be called out for what you already know, mate.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, Matt again. My dad's dad was a guard in Italy. Mum's dad was a signal electrician. Great-granddad was a shunter, lost an arm at work. Ouch. And another great-granddad built steam engines. Where? That's interesting. I'm curious.
My granddad had a huge layout in the loft. He used to live a couple of houses down from the now closed Rugby Central station on the Great Central. So my dad, a lot of weekends, would just go sit on the bank and watch 8Fs and 9Fs just trundle up and down with like half-mile long mineral trains. And my gramps used to have a layout that's probably similar size to mine in 00 on 3 layers.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a deal.
That's almost American. That's almost American.
Yeah. There was practically no scenery. It was just track. It was like ballasted and stuff, but around the top, he made a like a 90s intercity layout. So it had the Class 91 and a HST on there, but it was full containered as well. Just I really regret now not taking any pictures of it, because that layout was just, it was my whole childhood. And it was all manually signaled and pointed as well. So he had levers on the side of the layout that went to every single point everywhere.
To be honest, our club layout has got wire and tube points, and there's something about it for operation-wise. You have a bit more connection with it, sort of thing, when you're operating it.
It's the satisfying movement of it.
Yeah, it's pressing the button's a bit lifeless sometimes, but actually having to move over there and tube, and it's yeah.
It's when you see the signal drop as well.
Yeah, that'd be impressive. That like.
So, 2-minute synopsis of what SBJ has missed. So, Steve, wave, say hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
We talked some heritage. We talked about Black 5s and 37s and some heritage lines. Everybody's sloshed, and everybody is autistic.
Autism is strong.
There's got to be that on a t-shirt somewhere.
My mum says I'm special.
Hey, Choberton, thank you for joining us. Oh, one more like, please.
Come on, everybody like. Hang on, can I like
it? Yes, you can.
I've just liked it.
There you go.
I can't see the chat, but I don't know if that like even registered, but
there you go.
I don't even know why I'm actually watching the stream on my tablet, to be honest.
I was going to say, why are you? We're right.
I was going to say, why you're on YouTube.
It's so I could see the chat, but it wasn't working, so I don't even know why I even had it on.
Can we ever do a stream that does not drop it? That's why people watch, Aaron.
Absolutely.
They watch not for the bit that's actually informative or might be informative. It's for the chaos at the end.
If anything, if any episode proved this to ends that we didn't even foresee happening in the future, is the previous episode to this with Sam from Emperor's Path.
Oh yeah, dear God.
that was unhinged.
That was great. I watched the first 20 minutes, and then I watched everything else back while doing the washing up and everything the next day, and I was pissing myself. Absolutely pissing myself. Charlie says it's a live stream with men in it. What do you expect? Well, yeah.
And drink. That was my second glass I've had now of whiskey.
Drink. I haven't had any, so there you are.
I need some water.
Side down. No, completely. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining in. Any last-minute questions before we start rounding off? I think one thing we didn't actually do at the beginning of this, and I think it's very unfair that we didn't. Oh, I like that, Foxfield. Rob, what modelling have you got up to since we've been away?
Well, I've got one that I can't show you because Hilton's asked me specifically not to show anybody until it's finished. But during this stream, I've managed to do this.
How do you have the focus to do that? Like, I have stuff next to me that needs to get done.
I must admit,
it helps me concentrate on what's going on in here. You see, if I'm doing something down here as well.
Normally, when I'm watching, I find it normally Thursday night to midnight. I can come in the garage and have a bit of train time sort of thing, and try to focus on watching this and try to do something over there is impossible. But tonight, I sat there and ticked up when you're
actually on the stream, all you got to do is listen, really, and listen for what's being said. So I find it might be my autism talking here. So thank you for that. I like to have something to do with my hands. So if I'm painting something, then I'm keeping the hands busy. But it's like super focuses my hearing as well, which is a great thing for me. But regarding the kiln line, whoever's seen my latest reel will notice that the whole of Cadian Gate is now gated.
And has also got 1 million views.
On that reel, it's almost got 1 million views.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
The Instagram
I can't believe
algorithm is mental, isn't it?
It's absolutely mental. I think all I put on there was gates in a. I think the gates thing as a hashtag got it all that. To be fair,
I can't believe it.
I put that video on a few weeks ago of a ladybird walking along the train track, and it's had over 300,000 views. It's like, what? How's that?
Instagram is great for a lot of things, but the algorithm not so much.
No, definitely not.
Rob, T1199, how does it feel not owning an NG7 mainline handlet?
Oh, go away, Callum.
Callum?
I will have one very soon because I am in touch with Mark Holden and I will have one.
Ooh.
But it won't be built until that Hornby B4 comes out because I need a DCC ready chassis.
Ah, right, okay. Stephen, what about you? What have you managed to get up to in the last week or so?
Not an awful lot, to be honest. Started doing that Pico 200 board, but at the moment we're selling the house, so I'm sort of in that limbo of not wanting to do too much. And coming up soon, I'm going to have to cut the layout in half, which isn't really. I know. The thing is 12 foot long. I can't transport it anywhere. So
what I recommend is
carry around.
Get a rotary tool. It'll make your life a lot easier.
Well, see, I made the baseboards from foam, from insulation board. So luckily the baseboards will cut with a bread knife.
Yeah.
But it's just the thought of doing it is just terrifying.
Yeah.
But
mate, I feel you.
I don't want to scrap it because I'm quite happy with it. So that'll be happening soon.
Tony, maybe you can give them some pointers.
It needs to be usable afterwards, though. I don't know if that's it.
It'll make good content, though.
I was gonna say, yeah, good content.
Be putting it back together afterwards. That's the worrying thing.
Yeah, that's all. That's always the worrying thing when you take a layout apart because it will never go back the way you took it apart.
Well, I didn't design it to be taken apart either, clearly, because it's bolted to the garage wall. But
Oh no.
Yeah. Big mistake.
Not good. Not good.
No. Definitely not.
Fair enough. No, from me, I did a lot of folding of brass, a lot of spray painting, track, and other components for track. And I'm in the process of completing a control box for my layout. If you've seen on Discord or on Instagram, I shamelessly nicked Horsehay's idea of using a craft box from his latest video. If you haven't seen it, go and see it. It's really good. But I saw this for €4 in one of the local random shops. I was like, yeah, okay, that'll do. It fits my CS perfectly. So that's this week's job is to get the layout control physical.
James, it'll be great to see that you can actually do some proper shunting. With like Inglenook.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm aiming for, to be able to get sorted. But I want to get this done first because right now the wiring under the layout is just wires. It's no organization, nothing like that. It's just wires all over the place, twiddled together.
When you finally get that done, James, me and Hilton will be like that it's been 84 years meme.
2 centuries later.
Yeah, something like that.
My wiring's the worst part of the layout. And the worst thing is I do quite a lot of wiring at work anyway, and having a look underneath, it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all.
So SBJ with a very important question: does anyone in the shunting yard actually have a shunting yard? No. You say ironically no, but I'm very close now.
I mean, I've got sidings. I mean,
I'm very close.
he's going to call us out on Merp now for false advertising.
I've done shunting. Has nobody watched my last video?
I did, but
Right, controversial. Is it just me that finds shunting a bit boring?
Oh,
yes, just you.
Honestly, I just it could be an Engage thing, to be fair, because it's
it might be.
uncoupling and that isn't quite so simple, especially unless you've got auto uncouplers.
You just try it with O gauge, mate. You'll wish you never started.
Oh, do you have the daft
Hey
feelings?
Tom, thanks for joining at the end of it. Thanks,
Yeah,
Dave. Appreciate it.
I just can't get away with shunting. I just don't know.
I see. Yeah, I see. I find the same with roundies. Like I like it for about 5 minutes.
See, I can quite happily. I could stick a train going round and crack on with doing something else on the layout while the train's going round, and that'll stop it every now and then, have a bit of a play. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. No, I get my tism fix from moving things around, or in this case, back and forth at the moment. But you know, although I have this thing now where I can push a button and I can change a turnout, so I've been doing that quite a lot. Sam agrees with Steve.
Yeah, it is. It's.
I mean,
It's almost therapeutic.
I
find.
See, I find more joy
me.
actually building my stuff than running trains at the moment.
Wow. Would be nice, wouldn't it? Callum is saying, can we have a stream about British exports to other countries?
Absolutely
Do
not.
you mean model exports or actual exports?
I'm not listening to Callum until I get my mainline Hunslet.
But I say that mainly because we did have we have got a similar kind of topic that we want to discuss. Mainly because two of us are actually outside of Britain. So, you know, we have quite a bit of experience with British exports.
And the bane that it is.
And the bane that it is, indeed. Which reminds me, Hilton, before you went on holiday, did you send me the package you were supposed to send me?
He took your money and ran.
You literally having a go at Sam not 2 weeks ago for having taken half your money for a product and not getting it yet. And here I am having sent you money.
He's took your money and gone on holiday.
Took my money and got 50 odd quid in South African rand is a multi-millionaire, so there you go.
That's why
He paid for his whole holiday with that.
There you are. Has anyone seen the Process train lift? I saw that and I thought that looked absolutely brilliant. Then I saw the price.
Is that the
James wants one. He's going to build one himself.
Well, I mean, you could probably build one for yourself at a fraction of the cost. But it's about building it yourself and the time that you spend building it yourself. Is it worth the money that you would have paid for the Process lift?
Now, you see, you're going to think that I'm going to be making this up, but my granddad's layout when he first had it, because he had so many lines everywhere, he had nowhere to store his locomotives. So he actually made his own lift on the side of the layout that went to an underground storage area where he used to keep all his diesels. And this lift was operated using two handles that had string around it to make it lift up. And if you didn't wind them around at the same speed, it would just go like this, like a set of blinds. And you just have the loco just slide straight off and onto the floor.
Wow!
But it is a cool idea though to make that all automated. But I like the drawbridge kind of idea that they've got as well. I think that's just so cool.
So,
Just have a look at one there. Someone used to make one in Engage, a bit like that. They don't make them. I can't remember what company it was. Might have been, yeah. And they look class. It's like a glass display case sort of thing.
Yeah.
It looked brilliant, but I mean, worth a fortune. But
I don't know for the life of me who made it, but I swear I saw another commercial one years ago, like a 00 commercial train lift. I swear it might have been American. It might have been American because I know they're big on helices and
yeah,
and things like that.
Haven't they?
People do, and they've got space to do it. Yeah. Right. Any last minute questions, comments, etc. I'm going to start wrapping this up because I've got to be at work at 6 tomorrow morning.
Right. This is where we keep him up for another half an hour.
Don't keep me up. I've still got to get into bed. And I know I'm going to get an absolute rollicking if I wake my missus up.
He's going to get a James and SBJ moment. If you know, you know, kind of thing there.
What, can't be in two places at once?
No, where James is like, come on, Sam, come to bed.
That was gold. That was absolutely gold.
Absolutely,
it's great. That'd have made some great TV if we were actually editing it.
Yeah,
you heard it here first, Rob. Hilton prefers being in the audience.
He's on the beach, of course he does.
No one's going to say he's on the beach. Yeah.
Well, we prefer you here, Hilton. We love you, and we wish you were here.
Yes.
Am I just speaking for me, or am I speaking for everybody? I don't know.
Hilt's unhinged, drunken comments are class. To be fair, yes, but he does them live when he's with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
He does them live with us. Maybe we should do this. We should rotate. Which one of us is not here and just joins the comments and see who has the most unhinged comments.
But we normally rely on Aaron for that.
This is true. Yes, Hilton, I am accusing you of daylight robbery. God, where have we ended up on this? Do you know what? We haven't asked. We've got a few people here that have joined us recently. We've got. I'm going to give it another 10 minutes. That's all I'm giving it. 10 minutes.
Okay.
I'm turning it off.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm pushing the end stream button and then I'm turning it off.
Fair enough.
Sam and Tom, you are the two most recent joiners, I believe.
Is this Tom from Tom's Modelling Corner?
No, it's Tom Marshall from Buggles Kelly Station.
Oh, a bit of royalty going on here.
What got you into modelling? So, you know, was it something from the one-to-one world? Was it Little Blue Tank Engine? What was it? And if you have a heritage line or something that you are fond of, or something one-to-one that you're very fond of, let us know. We'd love to know. We've been hearing stories all night from people and where they've been getting their influence from, you know, their grandparents, certain railways that they've been to, etc. So please let us know.
I mean, I'm going to make an estimated guess at the stuff that Tom sells, like the little tiny, like fat controller sort of things.
I still need to get my hands on one of those. Andy, is this the worst episode of Undercover Boss ever? Yes, because his name is literally proper chucked in the darn chat. I mean, come on, double O Dave, double M Dave, and double D Dave were doing a better job than that. Oh yeah, Sam, that's another thing you missed. There were 37 Daves in the chat at one point.
Do you know what's funny?
Pleasure. Absolute pleasure, mate. Thank you.
Very welcome.
At work, we're a team of 9, and we have 4 Steves.
That must be the most confusing thing ever.
I can't think of anything worse.
And like, I go onto the shop floor and I'm like, Steve, and they all look around like, no, you, that one.
God. Oh, hang on. At least until I get to Reading. Sam, does that mean you're on the train?
On loudspeaker as well. Like one of the chavs that go on the back seat of the bus.
Lads, Tom has said, I will leave my answers for when you finally invite me on, before James Western Sigmund, ideally. Tom, look for our owl.
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Is that him officially wanting to be on the Shunting Yard?
Like it. Well, hang on. We have to. SVJ just said, "Did you just call me a chav?"
Only if it's on loudspeaker.
And you're playing rave music.
Have you got it in a cup? Please tell me you've got your phone on loudspeaker in a cup.
I'm trying to tape off here. This is not going well.
The other, there is many Daves. One of the Daves is asking, if you were Bezos rich, what one-to-one locomotive would you have in your one-to-one train set in your garden?
Tom Roll.
Tornado.
I am torn between a baby pannier and a Black 5.
Sorry, what?
all the ones you could pick. A pannier?
No. The baby pannier is my favourite locomotive.
What has Hilton done to you, James?
No, hear me out. There are not too many Black 5s. There are a lot of Black 5s on the network.
Yeah.
They will not miss one being sat in my garden.
Well, in all fairness, James, you could probably get an ATEF in one of your neighbouring countries.
I mean, that's not actually. I could probably go and grab one. Yeah. Hang on, how far is it? Where are they? Where is the ATEF that's close to me?
They're everywhere. They got cascaded literally everywhere, mate. I'm sure there's probably one near you.
I'll have to find one. No, it is not the flying teapot. If ever came to me owning that thing, I would turn it into a kettle.
Even the northerner in this live stream didn't pick Flying Scotsman.
I love it, but I don't know. It's just
no. In all fairness, I think even the people who say they don't like the Flying Scotsman do like it a little bit. I do a little bit.
I do.
But I wouldn't buy it. It's cursed. Let's put it that way.
No. Tornado's priced under warranty.
Can you imagine phoning up the boiler manufacturer going, I need to make a warranty claim on this boiler you built me? One of the pins came out.
It slipped really bad at Durham, and I need to have bits replaced.
I think Hilton's fallen out with me about me Scotsman. I've got a model of Hilton. I've got a model of it.
You're blacklisted with Hilton now.
It's a good loco, but it's all everyone ever talks about. It's
boring, right?
Harry has an idea here. Save every single HST and put them in his garden.
No, HSTs I can totally agree with. They are iconic, and every heritage railway should have one.
Just seeing what Matt's put there about a Flying Scotsman.
Is that Matt's Maritime and Rail?
No,
it's not.
This one. There you go.
It's not that we don't like Flying Scotsman. It's just because it's so popular. It's like saying that band that plays a hit song in your favourite without knowing any of the other songs.
That's such a good way of summing it up. That's brilliant. That is it. That's it.
It's now Gangnam Style, isn't it? That is literally all it is.
I was going to say it's Call Me Maybe. But okay.
It works for both. It works for both.
Does Hilton have a Flying Scotsman?
Say that again.
Does Hilton have a Flying Scotsman?
Yeah, he has
probably got
many.
several.
He does.
He's got several. He's
Okay.
probably got as many as 37s.
Fair enough.
I think he had two. No, was it one or two delivered to me before I took them up to him? I think it was one or two of them he had delivered to me,
Nice.
and I took it up to him in Yorkshire.
Sam's clearly listening
Yeah.
to Carly Rae Jepsen on the train as well, isn't he?
See, that's what he's got in the cup. He's listening to us in his ear, and he's got Kylie Ray in the cup.
This is all going to pot now. This is it. This is great. Freaking love it.
Bring brilliant Q1 Pacific into it. No, if you're going to bring a Pacific into reality, it's the cathedral. Nothing else is the right answer.
Yes, absolutely. And James, you know my stance on this now after this week, don't you? That cathedral could have been absolutely fantastic. And
But
oh,
Andy, I've mentioned it, and we're going to end on this note. But Andy mentioned earlier, we were talking about BR Express Blue liveries going on Pacific locos. Can you imagine the cathedral in Express Blue?
no, it should never be an Express Blue. It should either be maroon or green.
And we've lost Hilton.
Bye, Hilt.
Or is that in response to Sam now singing at the top of his lungs in a train going through Reading?
I had to look right at me, baby. Call my number.
Surely Flying Scotsman is you too. Even if you don't want it, it's forced upon you to own one.
I don't have one.
I will not have one.
Just sad that I just thought if Sam is listening out loud to this on the train, he's just played Rob singing to the whole train carriage.
I am not at all sorry.
Where's Morwood? Morwood, meme that. Jesus Christ. Right, we've hit 2 hours and 17 minutes. I think we're going to call this chaos here. So I want to say thank you very much to everybody in the chat. You've been absolutely brilliant as always. Tom, look for our owl. We will reach out to you. Stephen, thank you very much for joining us. It's been an
Very welcome.
pleasure as always.
Thanks for having us on.
Where can people reach out to you if they want to pull your ear about Engage stuff?
So obviously my main one, I'm on Instagram as Finbar Engage, and also on Facebook as Finbar Engage, and on YouTube as Finbar Engage. But like I said earlier, I don't put an awful lot on YouTube these days. It's hard work.
The algorithm's shit.
It's hard work. So yeah, Facebook or Instagram, generally speaking, is best place.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Rob, look at the camera. Where can people find you?
I am on Instagram as The Kiln Line. I'm also on YouTube as The Kiln Line.
And can we expect another video from you soon?
The next video will be revolving around this thing. I'm yet to start the actual one the video will be on, but hopefully in the next week or two.
Fantastic. Awesome. Yes, so I want to say thank you to everybody. It's been a blast. Yes, Hilton, this is the longest stream ever, and I think this is the most likes we've got on a stream ever as well. So thank you very
Hold on,
much.
James. You haven't told us where they can find you.
In my room.
In bed with your wife in a minute.
No. I'll be back in
least
here in a minute. I'll be
At
back
least he's
in
in bed with
here.
his wife
This
rather than.
This folds out. No, you can find me on Instagram at the Little Western Model Railway. You can also find me on YouTube and on Facebook, also at the Little Western Model Railway. And with some luck, I will have a lot more content coming out on all platforms very, very soon. So with that, I think it's bye from Stephen.
Goodbye.
Bye from Rob.
Bye.
And bye from me. We'll speak to you guys next Thursday, not this Thursday. Okay? Remember that. Nothing this Thursday.
Understand?
unless Hilton suddenly decides that he's going to do something on his own. We won't be there. No. Right, absolute pleasure. I'm going to push the button now. We'll speak to you all later.
Join the Discord.
Yes, join the
Ta-ra.
Discord. Cheers, guys.